thank you for joining us on The Skeptic Psychic, where we delve into ancient societies, the ghosts, the paranormal, UFOs, all looking at it from the perspective of the true believer and from the skeptic perspective. Joining me, my partner, my co-host, my sibling, Kimber Rodriguez. Myself, I am Richard Gregg. And again, let's look into being the skeptic psychic.
Hello, and thank you once again for coming to this wonderful podcast we like to call The Skeptic Psychic, where we delve into a lot of fascinating topics. And you guys do know the fact that it's this time of the year. Yes, the beginning of a brand new year. With me, as always, my wonderful, smart, intelligent, and highly motivated sister of mine, Kimber Rodriguez.
Well, I don't know about that motivated part. It sometimes it's a little hard with the whole ADD thing, but I do my best.
Right. Well, we also have a wonderful guest with us. Long time, wonderful, smart, intelligent, greatest wizard of even Merlin is small potatoes compared to him. Our own tarot wizard.
Wow. That is the intro, Richard.
Yes.
That is fantastic. But you forgot highly motivated.
Oh, highly motivated. I'm so sorry.
Yes. and the name.
Oh, and my name? Oh, he
yes.
said tarot wizard.
Yeah. This is true.
I am the tarot wizard.
There you go. We can go with that.
But on my box, on my little Zoom box, it says Jason D. McKean. And that is actually my website, is jasondmckean.com.
Right.
Weird how that works.
Yes. Jason has become a wonderful friend of ours, and we wanted to bring him on this week to do a annual tarot reading for the new year. But before we get into
for the world, right?
Yes, for the
world.
World.
Everything, all the questions answered of everything. Did we introduce Richard?
Nobody ever introduces me. I'm always the one that introduces everybody else.
You do the introductions because you are the skeptic psychic.
Yes.
Yes, I am just your loyal lackey who believes.
And everything,
Yes, there you go. Except for aliens.
Aliens are real.
Wait, you don't believe in aliens?
I do not.
Okay.
I have a hard time believing in aliens. I don't know. A lot of the stories I hear of people encountering aliens, it's just very far-fetched. So
yeah, she don't believe they could serve out juicy fruits, bubble gum, and all them wonderful things.
And yes, but I digress. Before we get into the readings, tell us what you've been up to and how you've been doing.
You're talking to me now.
Yes, we're talking to you now.
All right. Well, let's see. What have I been doing? I've been staying like very busy over the holidays. It's like there is a chance to just kind of calm down and just collect myself and let the students in all the classes that I teach, let them do like their holiday thing. And then once the new year starts again, it's like, boom, we're back into it. And one fun thing that I got to do over the in between Christmas and New Year's is I want to say I played the part of Santa Claus.
Wow.
But I've been doing that since I was like 5 years old, as far as when our family would have their opening of the presents and all that. I would dress like Santa in some, just anything that was kind of red, if it was pajamas or a jacket or something like that. And I'd use a baby's a hat, like a white hat that you put on a baby to keep them warm, just kind of flip it around to make a beard out of it.
Wow.
So I've always been a beard guy, way since like the early days. So it was
how long did it take to actually grow the real beard?
Well, the real beard is like 2 feet long, right? So if I like,
wow.
It's like still going. Okay, so it takes I think a good couple years or so, just to do that, and to not like do anything to it, not to like quaff it in a, just let it grow.
Now, when
Let
you
it
were
grow.
dressing up as Santa, were you also handing out the gifts to everybody, or just dressing
Yeah,
up
I
as
was
Santa?
I was the part, and that was like a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that part of being the one who was giving the presents. So even more so than like, getting to my own gifts and all that. It was like, it was more fun just to kind of hand them out and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I was at an event this last Christmas, doing an event for the that was benefiting the veterans, and
Oh,
it was really special. It was really nice, and I was reading along with just pressing the flesh and ho-hoing and wishing people a merry holiday
Sure.
season. It's a little
So
bit after Christmas, so it's kind of weird to like, Merry Christmas, 2 days late. Sorry.
no,
Santa was a little
actually,
behind this year.
hey, basically, I every January 2nd, I tell people, let me be the first to wish you a very Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not too early, is it?
No,
Uh,
never too early.
um, yeah, and as I was reading Tarot, because Santa, of course, reads Tarot.
Of course.
That's how he
Yeah,
knows if you're naughty or nice.
there you
But
go.
I had a list, and the list, because I write down everyone's name that I read for, was broken up into two columns. Had the nice side and the naughty side, but I let the person that I was reading for choose if they were on the nice or the naughty list.
Interesting.
Yeah, it lends itself
Yes.
to a very interesting read. You
Yes.
know.
Yeah. Speaking of Santa, did anyone see that holiday commercial they had this year where Santa shows up at a Jewish home and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, wrong address." And the father comes out, or the grandfather, and he's like, "Oh no, everyone's welcome here. We're just about to have dinner." I thought that was a very, very nice commercial. The Jewish family invites Santa Claus in for dinner with them.
I saw the one with John Travolta, like
Yeah,
Yes.
dancing,
that was
like,
funny. The gal
his
that asked him, I haven't seen you in a while, where you been? Is Donna Pascal, his girlfriend in Saturday Night Fever.
ah.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I one of my friends was like, "Oh, did you see that commercial of Santa pretending to be John Travolta in Saturday Night Live?" Or not Saturday,
It's Saturday
Live,
Night
sorry,
Fever.
Saturday Night
Saturday Night
Fever.
Fever.
Yeah.
That's
And
same difference.
I'm like, that was John Travolta, right? Really?
Yeah. So, but upcoming, it's like I am like, eh, pumped to do like live classes. I've got those planned. I've got events, psychic fairs going on, my online classes as well. So the Tarot Wizard is a busy wizard.
Yes, and I was just going to ask if you're still doing the online, because I've been getting the invites to your live events.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Are you
That,
coming to a
um,
live event?
unfortunately, it's a little out of my way at this time, but I do want to come to one of your virtual events.
All right. Well, we'll make an exception there for
Yes,
distance.
yes,
that's on my calendar to actually get to go to a live event with the Tarot Wizard. On my
yes,
bucket list.
yes,
They're quite fun, and like the online, it's like, everyone participates. It's not just, where I'm like just doing all the work. It's like that's the beauty of the tarot is that, anyone can dive in and I think, kind of surprise themselves at how they're able to access their own wisdom.
yes,
And yeah, it's like
yeah,
Kimberly is like no stranger to that.
yes. The only thing about the live events is, you got to get out, you got to put on pants, leave the house.
No, come on.
For the virtual,
No,
you can
You're
just get
overthinking it.
relaxed.
Pants. Not
that's
when you have a long beard, just
This
to
is
kind of
true.
that's also when you've got the robe.
This is true.
right, the robe. Oh.
So
Ah,
Just because, some people may not know, where is the secret origin of the tarot?
Oh my God. So I'm kind of the wrong person to ask that, but it's 1400s Europe, Italy. It's like they don't have like an exact origin of it, but the first cards, show up as ones that were used as part of a parlor game. It's like how fun is it to like, sit with your friends or with royalty or whoever could afford like the wood carved cards or the really fine painted ones, um and sit around and just like you know think of it as kind of a game, like fortune telling
Right.
as a parlor game, you know
Little did they
and
know that their little parlor game would soon turn into something more intriguing.
yeah, and like playing cards, the suits of the diamonds and the clubs and the
Right.
spades and the hearts, they came from the tarot.
Right.
Those
Uh,
are the suits.
I don't know if you can see this. My wife actually got a deck of bicycle cards that's got the fey creatures in it.
Interesting.
The king and queens are the summer, winter, fall, and spring courts.
Oh, nice, nice. So I mean, you can read from the playing cards. You can read them
Right.
like tarot cards. It's just doesn't have the major arcana in it, except for one card, which is the Joker, which is the Fool.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I actually had a friend way back in high school read me through a deck of cards. And he actually was pretty accurate in some of what he was saying. So I, always found that interesting that he was able to do it with a deck of cards just as a tarot card. Which takes me to my next question, or my first question, I should say. Can anyone learn to foretell properly, or do you have to be born with the ability already within you?
Well, I think that a natural ability is certainly helpful if it's something that is let's say where one is attuned, where their intuitive radar is picking up energy, and that it is like accurate in what it is picking up, and that the person who is then picking it up, that they're relating it in an honest way, right? So if you're with someone and you're like picking up that something's going on with them, that they're wrestling with something a little bit deeper, and you say, hey, how are you doing? I mean, how are you really doing? Because I'm just getting that you're like wrestling with something, that's having that ability is like certainly a thing. There are colleagues that I've worked with before who are really great at just like picking up like details from the past, that is like, God, how would you know that, right? Unless you'd read someone's Wikipedia page. It's like, Richard, oh
Right.
my God, at 3 years old, it's like you broke your leg, like falling out of a tree house, that your friend built. It's like how would you know that, right? And it's like with that kind of gift, it's like it's like you uh a lot of like, again, colleagues I've worked with and just other psychics that I know, it's like they have to kind of be very disciplined about how they just kind of don't go crazy, just picking up all of this information just in any kind of social situation that they show up in, or with clients, querents. It's like, my thing is like, okay, so a lot about a person, but how is this information helpful for someone to take it and to be able to move forward on something that's important to them, you know, to inform them as to who they're becoming in the world. You know, what are they going to do with that? And I find that if we have a respect for the larger energies and influences around us that feel like, you know, they have their say on us. You know, it's like the universe as a whole, it has its say. The sun, the celestial, you know, planets and all that, they have their say as far as how they influence us, how they will influence our environment, our day, you know, our moods when the moon is full, you know. When I'm turning into that werewolf, you know, it's like
Right. And
it has its say.
Jupiter's in its retrograde.
Well, at least it's not Mercury
But
anymore.
Mercury
Yeah.
retrograde, right? It
Yeah.
has its say. And to have a healthy respect, you know, not to like say, oh, Mercury's in retrograde, I got to go, you know, hide out, you know. um it's it's important to you know, feel that connection, and to not let it you know, just stop you from, again, kind of being who it is that you need to become in the world. It's like you work with it, you work with these energies, and you build relationships with them. And you know, it doesn't, I don't mean it to sound like it's too like, woo, you know, because I'm very, very grounded in what it is that I do. It's like I've been an artist, a production artist, an art director, you know, a musician, a composer, and to be able to, you know, have ideas, to be inspired, to then be able to take it and to manifest it, to make something like tangible with it. That's that's been a very important part of my path. And so, you know, I see that as a way that you know, can help others, like not feel like they're uh kind of lost in life, you know, that they're not making progress, or they can't see the progress that they're making.
Speaking of the energies, does reading the tarot sometimes bring spirits to you? And can it be dangerous if you're not sure what you're doing? I know there's a lot of misconceptions about tarot reading, so.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, I think that it doesn't have to be just specific to tarot, that one can draw like a negative spirit, or a negative you know, to kind of be in a negative environment, and to you know, draw that near you, you know. It, what's lovely is that Richard's cat almost looks like a raven that's like kind of perched there on his lap.
It's not on my. It's not. He's not perched on my lap. He's actually perched on my arm.
Yes.
Well, he kind of keeps disappearing, you know, like you know, because of the background,
Right.
Yeah.
and all. But
I do apologize. You know, sometimes my familiar needs to be familiar.
That's
no. There's no apologies for that. But you know, with you know, because I've read in environments where there's been a lot of activity. You know, we've talked before about the reading on the Queen Mary, and you know, just various things. And it's like, yeah, it's like one needs to be centered. You know, you need to know who you are at your core, so that you're not just saying anything. You know, when you're reading tarot, that um you're recognizing, again, like a relationship that you would have with your spiritual source, so that you know, what's coming out of your mouth is not just you know, that it can be harmful to someone.
You may take something the wrong way, or it may take something the right way. It all depends on how you word it.
Right. And can you bring harm on yourself also if you're not careful? Because I know, like, I was telling somebody the other day about, that we were going to do this show, and they're like, "Oh, well, you don't want to mess with the occult, and you're gonna bad things can come in if you start messing with the tarot." And to me, it's like I believe that it's your higher conscious talking to you. I know other people think that you're getting messages from the spirits. Some say spirit guides. Some say demons pretending to be spirits.
Some say angels, but
Yes. So, what are your thoughts on that as far as where the messages come from? And are you actually putting yourself in danger if you don't know what you're doing?
I've worked with a number of readers and mediums and all where I think that it can be from different sources. I think that there can be spirit guides, angels, ancestors, but again, it's about the quality of information that comes through, and if it's helpful, if it resonates with someone, that it's not just something so fanciful that it's just like you go out of the session going, what was that all about? um yeah, I mean, I like to be conscious. I don't like drink or do drugs that would alter a reading, because it's like, oh, that might enhance like the connection. It's like
Mhm.
I I've read for thousands of people. I know who it is that I am at my
Mhm.
core, and how a message can be taken in and integrated and can be helpful for someone. But to answer that question about like harming and stuff like that, it's like uh I've had people approach me who have wanted to use the the powers to be a little bit more in that controlling space
Mhm.
of
so basically, I've noticed the fact that you are stressing your own core. Is that a very, should say, positive way of looking at knowing when you go into it, not, that exactly who you are as you're going into it, as opposed to, say, sharp, saying somebody that doesn't know exactly who they are inside, deciding, well, I'm going to learn how to do the tarot, and I'm going to try to make money, try to, just basically, um, I'm going on a tangent. Please forgive me.
I think I get what you're saying, though. In other
Yes,
words, like being true to yourself and knowing who you are in and out, and that you're confident enough that what you're giving is of value, not going out trying to scam people just for money. Is that what you're trying to say?
is that
yes.
what you're trying to say, Richard?
I was trying to say that, yes, and like I said, I just went off way. I started off right here, and then I went way off to the other side of the screen.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes a direction will kind of start off as this amorphous thing,
Right.
until
Mhm.
we rein it in, right? Um,
Yes.
and yes, it's like if one's motive is to either lord power over someone, or to just bilk them for cash, then these are not high goals, right? I mean, these are
Right.
like in that lower realm. And the thing about energy, it comes back to bite you,
Mhm.
and bite you hard. That's the thing about it's like it may take a little bit of time for you know the environment to kind of wise up to it, right? but energy does not lie. And if you're, looking to help someone see their part in their own life so that they can like make like positive change, that they can maybe see a pattern that they keep going round and round on, and they're not seeing an alignment between who they think they are and what the results that they're getting in the world, right? If you're able to help them identify that, and then you're helping them to change their future, because in the moments that it will matter, it's like they can make different choices, and it starts to produce different results. And that's kind of the psychological, the scientific way of looking at it too. And again, I approach it in a very grounded way. If someone wants to just hear nice things about themselves and be very fanciful and just like talk about past life stuff, it's like, sure, I mean, I've done that, but I'm also going to be the kind of reader that will be like, let's take a look at where it is that you're headed towards. Let's look at your patterns, and see if you're getting what it is that you want out of life, and making sure that one is staying in a positive framework. And that to me is like there's nothing to fear about that. It's like there's nothing that is feels like it's evil or corrupted in that. It's like just the more awareness that we have about our being, whether it's our spiritual self, our mental, emotional, physical self, this is all information that can help us to just be a better version of ourselves.
So from what I'm getting from that is if you're already at peace, then you'll find peace. If you're in turmoil, then you'll find turmoil. Is that correct?
Is any one person in just like, if you look at the ends of the spectrum of turmoil and peace, is anyone like just on those ends, because I think
Right.
we all have our
We
areas of
fluctuate. Is that a word?
Yes.
yeah. And depending, it's like some people are like, amazing at their careers, but in personal relationships they're awful, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
there's no one that's perfect. There are no perfect moments in time. No one is perfect. And it's like, we navigate our own energy fields. We are navigating our life, moving through many different environments in our own, just daily routine. And it's like we look to build enough awareness so that, again, we're in the flow of like knowing who it is that we are, or at least finding out those layers and covering those layers, and we're looking to activate them so that, if I say I'm a tarot wizard, that, damn it, I'm being a tarot wizard in life, right? That I'm not
Right.
like, if I have an opportunity to read, it's like, oh no, I can't do that. It's like, that would be weird, to read tarot. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why are you a tarot wizard? But we see, like people, artists, who like create like something really wonderful, and then it comes time for to show people or whatever, and they go, oh no, I can't do that. I'm not ready, or whatever. It's like there's a lot of variations of how people will feel like they're not ready to inhabit an identity that they feel that they really want to be that person.
I can definitely identify with that. I don't know about you, Richard, but
I plead the fifth when I drink it, as Papa used to say.
What? pleading the fifth.
Yes, plead the fifth, deny the first.
Is that what
Right.
the audience wants to hear? That no, it's like you know, what's the dirt?
Yes.
Well,
Speaking of the dirt, why don't we get into some of the questions about the world for the year?
All right.
Okay, would you like to ask the first question, brother?
I know we don't really do politics or anything like that, but I do want to know exactly, you know, with the strife that we've had from the early of 2023 on up to towards the end, are we going to see at least some type of peace in the Middle East?
So we ask the cards that they speak to our highest good,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And I like to pull 3 cards. I'm a 3-card guy. You
Do
know.
that little 3-card Monty, find the little I'm sorry.
So the 4 of Swords
Okay.
comes
Mhm.
up. The Wheel of Fortune
Ooh.
and the Fool, or the Initiate in this deck, the Wizard's
Right.
Tarot, which is out of print but very expensive online. So it's you know, it's as far as peace, right? It's like the 4 of Swords, that is a it shows like in the succession of the swords, it's like the one before it is like the 3 of Swords, where there's a lot of unrest and a lot of strife, and then the 4, where basically one just kind of gets tired, right? One gets sick of just like being in that place of upheaval, and so there's a retreat, and then a rest. I think that part of it is not like tomorrow, you know, if we're speaking like Middle East and all. I think that yes, there will be a moment you know, probably later, I mean, I see it as kind of like a few months, you know, where there can be a place that is like the various parties like all kind of like just go back to their sides there, and that it has a moment there of you know, like talk for like some kind of like new way of seeing it. But I think that's a cycle that is kind of a continual cycle there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing it as like a permanent solution or a permanent piece
Mhm.
there. I'm seeing it as just like
We're
you know,
tired for now.
it basically.
Right.
And where it's like there's talk of like, you know, some possible just ways of patching it up,
Mhm.
you know, just quick fixes, but nothing that feels like it has um you know, I yeah, nothing that has like a full answer to it, you know. It's like, what was it, you, Richard, that was saying that like that was talking about Jupiter
Yes, Jupiter in
Yes.
retrograde.
earlier? Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
you know, it's like the Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter, right? And it has like an expansive quality, like, you know, oh, you know, there could be a hope to do this, or you know, where there's like I think that any steps that are taken are incredibly slow, because I think that what one needs in order to have like to take bold steps forward is trust, and I think that there is like zero trust in that region,
Mm.
and I think that you know, it just becomes like kind of a tired a pullback, and just kind of a wait and see until the next.
Mhm. Well, if you think about it, in the Bible, it does talk about, for those who are, religious or Christian, that there will that peace in the Middle East won't come until the coming of the end. Like, that's supposed to be one of the signs of the end, is when they finally find peace in the Middle East. So
And then it's like, okay, well, let's wrap this up then. You finally found the answer to it. We're all
Right. I
done.
mean,
Yes.
Khomeini won't like it, but we have to rock the Casbah.
Yes. Yes. A little closer to home, what can you see about the economy? Because I know, like, with right now inflation, the average American is really struggling to make ends meet. Will we see anything lighter in that in the coming year?
That's interesting. It's like the world
Ooh,
shows up along with the Ace of Pentacles
ooh, I like that one.
and death.
Uh-oh.
Do you like that one too?
Actually,
I,
yes.
because death usually is not a card literally meaning death per
It
se.
means, yeah, it
A
means
change.
change. Exactly. So in order for something to change, something has to die, whether it's an ideal or whatever. It has to end in order for something else to happen. Does
The
that make
card you
sense?
should the card that you should be worried about is the fluffy rainbow unicorn.
I thought it was the
Well,
tower.
fortunately, I don't have a fluffy rainbow unicorn in mine.
That's a great reason.
So you don't have to be afraid, Richard.
Okay.
Yes.
But death, I see it as a change card, like you're
Mm.
saying, right? But that it's an internal change. It like comes from within and goes without, like the caterpillar that changes to the butterfly, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like where we're one kind of,
Mm.
it's an organic change. And I feel that part of like the relationship with money and all is like that is part of our own evolution as well. And money is just it's a go-between, right? It's like you're given a note there that can basically purchase anything. It's like in days where if you did a job and it's like, okay, Richard, here's your chicken, or here's your eggs, here's your flour, right? It's like that's what you got. It's a tangible thing that you could then like make into food or whatever. But with money, it's like you could get that and then you can like buy some chickens, or you could buy egg, or you can buy tennis shoes. It's like you do whatever you want with it.
Mhm.
And so the relationship with money, I think that's I think that's part of how we see wealth, how we measure it. I think that can be there can actually be kind of more of like some of that bartering going on for actual things. I've noticed that with people out here. It's like they'll do something and then they'll like get some kind of goods out of it. It's like uh, so that relationship is there. But the world card,
Mhm.
that's one of uh of success, of like where things come to a a place where one feels like they're I was going to say on top of the world, but it's like it's like one where they've come to a place of a heightened uh, area.
Experience.
Yeah,
Heightened reality.
a heightened reality, but it's also like end card of the major arcana, it's like the, what one does is then, starts a new cycle of it. And I think that, I mean, I'm not seeing like a downturn this year for the monetary parts. I'm seeing a heightening, um, and I'm seeing people being open to opportunity. It's like the Ace of Pentacles is like an opportunity. It may be, just one that allows for extra income to come in, something that feels like an individual or creative talent, or something that one just uh, you know exercises, like
So
um,
what you're seeing, this new phase as being something of discovering of creativity and acceptance in the new changes that are occurring. Is
yeah, I mean, it's I mean, I see where people have the capacity to not just do one thing too in their world, because of the uh, the digital realm and all, where it's like the ability to work from home. Of course, it's not everyone, right? I mean, it's
Right.
it's like, it just kind of generally, it's like it feels like there's layers that people can tap into, that bring in um, alternative sources of income, and also where they're again, like they're uh, targeting like a particular thing that they're looking for. Again, if someone that they know has a product that they're wanting, it's like trading services or so, for that particular item, and
Interesting.
being open to that.
Interesting. So to me, it sounds like kind of getting back to the American dream of, you know, creating your own wealth, and instead of expecting the um to be taken care of, and changing your relationship with money. Would that be correct?
Yeah, yeah, and part of how we change our relationship to it too is where, I mean, it becomes a part of our um, either meditational practice or spiritual practice, where for one, we are in a place of gratitude, where we're um, you know being thankful for anything that comes in, right? That
Mhm.
is born from our own creativity, or um, these areas of how it is that we're, you know I want to say, like more comfortable with making money too, rather than
Mhm.
it just being placing ourselves in stressful situations that
Mhm.
can be, like, typically those jobs that um they're, we may not be fully aligned with it, right? It's like we go
Right.
there and it's like we do our best, but at the end of the shift, it's like, okay, I need to get out of here, because this is, it's not,
Mhm.
I don't live for this,
Right.
right? you know
I'm shaking my head. Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, finding those things that we live for, right?
Mhm.
That have like a deeper meaning to us, and then we're able to monetize it, or again, where we're bartering for those things that are essential, for
Mhm.
us. Just is that like on a large scale? I mean, that would take like a probably more work than you know what the time we have in 2024,
Right.
but I see it as um as a means that can start to expand.
That's interesting because I'm actually on that journey myself of trying to find what gives me purpose and what gives me passion and gives me drive. And I'm actually meeting with one of my business coaches on Friday to barter my time as doing technical work for her. And in trade, she's going to be coaching me on those exact things with meditation and all of those things. So that's really interesting that you say that, because that's where I'm at right now.
It's a great example too. I mean, I used eggs and chickens and, it's like, but
Yes,
but
you
with
kept using my name.
Maybe
Yeah,
this is
Richard, here's
something
the chickens, here's the eggs.
There you go, Ricky. You're supposed to start a farm, a chicken farm.
I guess so. Everybody keeps saying how good of a cook I am, but I can't handle the customers.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what you got to hire people. So that way you can be in the kitchen doing the cooking, and then your staff handles the customers.
That's right.
Sure.
Delegate the parts that you're not wired for.
Yes. So what's your next question, Richard?
But no, I mean, that's a great example, Kim, as far as the technical aspects, because we live in a digital world, and it's like, I've done many things before in the past. I've created books for authors. I've done created music, created like a bunch of stuff, and it's just like, being able to just like trade services like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, it's a great way of looking at it. I don't know. Do you have any questions, Kim? I can't think of anything that I really want to know, because everything he's talking about is just the perfect answer for this year.
Yes. How can we? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna like say, because it's the year of the dragon coming up,
Definitely.
right?
Right.
It's like it usually indicates like challenge, right? And I wanted to pull 3 cards too on that, just to see how easy, how difficult it would be to kind of meet those challenges.
Right.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Basically, this is the year of the dragon. I mean, from what I know of the mythos of King Arthur, he was supposedly born in the year of the dragon. What does the year of the dragon look like?
So I have the Emperor.
Duh.
It's fascinating. The Emperor.
Speaking of King Arthur.
The
Yep.
10 of Swords. Woo!
Ooh.
Talk about challenge.
Yes.
And the Hierophant.
Okay, so you've got the this is just my thought into it. You've got the Emperor, possibly Arthur. The 10 of Swords means that there is a unification of the table, and the Hierophant, they're all seeking the wizard's advice, as per Merlin, for this new stand.
That's really interesting. That is really interesting. And would you see it as again kind of an easy like process of meeting the challenge of the dragon, or like where there's some tricks?
There are, I would say, there is going to be a little bit of a strife, but towards the end, all that sit at the table have sworn allegiance.
And a turkey leg for everyone.
And a jug and a and a chalice of mead.
Nice.
So
Nice. It'd be the Holy Grail. of mead.
Exactly.
Yes. Can I
I'm
put,
sorry. It just
Hail, Arthur.
yes, can I put my own little spin on this?
sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, taking it more into modern days, what I get from what you said is, we've got, not to be political again, but we do have election coming up. So with that, from what you said, and from what I visualized being from what you said, I'm seeing somebody coming into power, Arthur, our next president, and with working with Congress, being the Knights of the Round, it's going to be a struggle, but just like Arthur saved England, they're going to be able to help put us back on the path to save our country. How does that?
And where does the elephant come in? Because usually that's the sage.
That would be, I don't know, I guess his advisors. That's where I'm a little stuck.
Well, it's like in this particular deck, it's like
Mhm.
the Hierophant is Kronos, not Kronos. Oh God, because Kronos is like Saturn, like
Mhm.
Right. Are you talking about Hercules?
Chiron.
Chiron, yes.
Yeah, actually, I am talking because I think Her Heracles like shot like Chiron with a poisoned arrow or something and
Yes.
wounded Chiron and didn't kill him, but it like was hella pain.
Right.
And because he looked to find a cure or a salve for the wound, it's like he like accumulated a lot of knowledge, a lot of healing knowledge, and then became a teacher,
Right.
shared that. And it's like the essence of that Hierophant, the spiritual leader. It's one that allows for one to connect with others, and not where it's just a a, a single person's journey, but how one shares it, and it becomes like a collective experience in it.
I,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I kind of jumped in there with my own reading type situation.
No, it's really interesting because it made me, like I said, think of mine, and then listening to what Jason's saying here, it's the collective. It to me sounds like, because right now there's so much divide in the country,
Right.
and to me it sounds like people are going to be coming together again and healing from within, and that in a whole is going to heal what we have here. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I would add this too, that in order for that to take place, right, that coming together, it's like, is it just like one person who brings it together, or is it individuals who rise up in their own experience and kind of like heal in their areas, in their those pockets. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel it's essential for those who have a desire to connect with others, and who also are honest about what it is that they've gone through, right? Who are honest about the hardship as much as the success, so that it's about relating to others and being real with others. So what were you gonna say?
I love that. To me, it makes me think of, like you said, people being real. And then not only that, but the other side being willing to listen with compassion. And I think that by people sharing their stories and others being willing to listen with compassion, there will grow and understand of, not one person going out there and doing it, but like you said, groups of people going out there and sharing their thoughts and sharing their lives, and others saying, oh my gosh, I get it. I understand it. I've always said that we don't have to agree to get along or to like each other. And I think that once people start realizing that, that would heal a lot of things where I don't agree with you, but I get where you're coming from. So with that, they find a mutual connection, which brings them closer.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a building year. That Emperor is the builder. I think that one is like they're given permission to look to expand this year and take their vision and start making those steps towards building their empire, right? Like the Emperor would. Is there only one way to do it, to build? It's like no. It's like the Ten of Swords, I feel, is like it's an energy of where we can make a lot of plans for stuff. We can like get a lot of like wheels, gears in motion. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this and then this and this and this and then this has to like happen before this happens. And then we can have like quite this construct that if one piece gets wobbly and like doesn't happen, then it everything could just kind of be shot to hell, right? And it's a reminder that if we over plan, if we get stuck in just saying it's got to be this way, then we can make the path a lot harder for ourselves than it needs to be. This year. It's like sometimes just kind of keeping it simple, keeping it straightforward, not having too many variables that are one is dependent on. One is not like just casting a lot of different friends and family and piling on a lot of expectations. It's like, okay, you got to do this and you got to do that, and because it's like we don't always have everything in our control, in our power.
We don't have everything within our grasps.
Yeah, and it's like we do the best that we can, and it doesn't mean that we like diminish our goal. It's like we want to like reach as high as we can, right? But it's about progress, and it's not about like just making a lot of work for ourselves, like where there's a lot of like mental energy that's like, oh yeah, and we just like plan it out perfectly, and then it's like when it comes time to realizing it, it's like, oh, it's like it worked a lot better on paper.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
so that actually answers some of the other questions that we had in
What?
a nutshell. But
that is crazy.
let's get a little bit personal here.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I did it. I'm guilty.
Yes. I actually went to Berlin one time, leaned up against this wall, and
It fell over.
Don't feel bad. I was in Italy and I was checking out this tower, and I just tripped and put my hand up against the tower to hold myself up, and it just went down.
It's like that old Marx Brothers gag where Harpo's leaning up against a wall and the cop comes up and says, "What, do you think you're holding it up?" And Harpo shakes his head and cop says, "Get out of here," and the wall falls over.
All right, so who's going to get personal?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Get personal, Kim.
Yeah, Kim first.
Kim first.
Because I'm not sure how personal I can get.
Oh yeah, no, I mean not too personal, just let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to find that question.
Oh, you got a question.
Oh, I thought it was like memorized. I thought it was just like right here.
I got mine memorized up here,
If you've got yours memorized, go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So my question this year is I've been last year we discussed the fact that that I've got to try to, well, it was a very adventurous year, I mind you. But you had said something about denying what I need to do, I should say. This year I believe I've got the idea. I just kind of wish that the world would actually help me make a plan, I should say. Is that I know that's not a yes or no
Is
type.
that not too vague?
Is the universe ready to help me uh begin my journey, I should say? Because I know the path, I just okay, I know I'm totally
No, I totally get what you're saying. And again, I applaud you for giving voice to it.
okay.
Right. And it's like, like looking for like some support, it's like, right. But it's like,
Yeah.
having the universe say, hey, Richard, like I've got your back, So the Five of Pentacles
Okay.
comes up, right? The Two of Pentacles
Okay.
and the fluffy rainbow unicorn,
Oh,
the Tower.
okay.
The card you dreaded. It is here. It has come for you finally.
Yes.
Yes.
So the pentacles are all about manifestation, right?
Right.
They're about how it is that we place, who it is that we are, who it is that we think we are, what we look to embody. We act on it, right? Put it out into the world. Um, it looks like, I mean, the way you phrase it, right, is the world like ready to like, embrace you and say, come into our loving, cradling arms, right? I mean, it looks like, the world, it's got like stuff going on, right? It's like with the
Right.
Tower, it's like it's kind of that storm card, right? It doesn't mean that you're like having to be like in a lot of versions of Tower, you see like people like flailing and falling out of the tower as it's being crushed and all that. But with this particular deck, it's like the Tower is a lighthouse, and it's like what you have is bright, it's helpful, it can be shared with others, and it can enhance, right? But what it takes from you is to as the world has its troubles and its pressure, it's you to push back. It does take for you to exert your own being, and to recognize the light that you have to offer, and to actually go out and share it. So it may not be that it's readily accepted, but is it needed?
Yes,
I
it is.
feel it is, right? Because it's like the Five of Pentacles, that's an energy of like offering a sanctuary. These two people out there out in the cold and the snow, they could be wandering forever, right? But there they are in front of this beautiful building, this safe space, and Richard is going, come in, look to see what it is that I have to offer, right? It's like opening up the doors to that safe place. Because you offer it doesn't mean that they do show up. But but it's, again, important to know who it is that you are, and what it is that you're sharing, so that you don't have any doubts about that, because the doubting part, would be that part of like kind of hiding your light in that lighthouse, and it needs to be shared with the world. It's a work in progress. Two of Pentacles, it's like, it's where it's an infinite like juggling act, right? It's like,
Kind of
um,
juggling with Mobius.
it's that, like that eternal, um like how I see it is like what's being juggled with the two discs. One is the present, one is the future, right? It's like what you're manifesting right now, right? It's like you don't want to just totally be in the future, but you want to have your eye towards the future. You want to keep moving towards what you would like to see your progress, lead up to. But you take care of yourself in the present. It's like one sustains their environment in the present, but builds towards the future. And it's a process. You're a work in progress, or as your sister would call you, a piece of work.
I
No,
would
she
never
doesn't
do
call me a
that.
piece. No, she never calls me a piece of work. Now,
That's the other brother.
yeah, that's the other brother
Oh,
that it's kind
okay.
of the piece of, we'll leave it right there.
He knows we love
We
him.
we love him.
Absolutely. So, is the world just going, come on, yes, bring it? It's like, it looks like it's going, I dare you to like, put your light out into the world, buddy. And as far as knowing your own value, right? Honoring what it is that you're given as a goal. That's important. It's important for you to recognize that, and to to move forward on it. Because again, it's like that, the challenges that are before us, they are going to change us, but they're going to strengthen us. They're going to help us to rise within ourselves, so that we're not the same person.
Oh, come on. I really like this person.
I don't think your core will change, but one's confidence, one's ability to see your influence and all, to allow for it to expand.
That would be awesome. That's one thing I've dreamed and wished for you for longer than I can remember. For you to see in you what others see in you.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to see for me, because knowing what I've gone through.
You're preaching to the choir.
Ah! All right, now Kim, it is. Have you thought of your question yet?
I
Maybe
have.
Nicely done, by the way. That angelic choir. Is that your gift to the world?
Angelic choir? No, I don't think so.
I thought it was like an album of like, Richard's angelic choir.
No, I don't know. I've got so many talents and not enough time to figure them out.
I know what you mean.
Just go with one. You don't have to like put them all out at once.
Yes, just find the one you're most passionate about and go with that.
One at a time, and then, release a greatest hits album down the road.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Okay, along the same lines, so I've been kind of doing a little bit of tech work for the past year, and I have some steady clients, and I could possibly, grow more with tech, but I feel like I'm being pulled another direction. I know a lot of people who I associate with told me I have a a natural knack for guiding people and kind of teaching. So I've been looking into going into some kind of coaching, preferably with ADHD, since it is something that I struggle with. I want to help other people who struggle with it. So I'm wondering, am I ready to make that shift and start helping people with this issue? And will I be able to reach my goals for this year by doing either one?
All right. So the first card is the Chariot.
Oh, I love that card.
Yeah,
That's
she's
so
like
nice.
flying around the pyramids and
Yes.
accessing that ancient knowledge there. The Page of Pentacles. Ooh, and the King of Wands. And in the King of Wands, I see as the keeper of the vision. And it's like, the wands, that fire energy it's like the inspiration. One does need that fire, right? To be vocal and to share your vision to the world, to put it out there. I feel that the King of Wands, that the kings, they look to be seen and heard and taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking at this year as far as putting out the word, then I think that's that's a good sign to do that when there's this type of energy that is behind you in it. I think the path forward is one that offers like a lot of challenges. I think that when the Chariot comes up, it is about movement. It is about moving forward. It's about aligning and saying, I'm ready, and there's nothing that's going to stop me. And then of course the moment you start it, there's like there's like things that feel like they're going to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes an energy of just like not taking no for an answer, of not being in that silly like spiritual like place of like, oh, it's like there's an obstacle, and I guess it means that I probably shouldn't do it for now. It's like, no, it's like it's about busting through that obstacle, or just racing around it, like getting to where it is that you're going. It's not about like being in a place of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, with these cards, the
Mm-hmm.
Page of Pentacles. If you've read my book, you know that this is the I am card. The Page of Pentacles, where the pages are the messengers, and we give voice to that which we are creating in the world, who it is that we are in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we aren't fully realized yet, as far as a uh, a teacher in that realm, or it's not about like saying, well, God, what have I done? If I list my accomplishments, it may not add up to the full picture.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about knowing who it is that you are, knowing what it is that you want, and giving voice to it. I am a tech, I don't know how you're going to phrase it, but it's to become your mantra, for the coming year. It's like, when I speak of myself, right, I am a tarot wizard, right?
Right.
That wasn't always the case, it evolved, but at one point it was like it became my truth, and to give voice to it out there creates opportunities. The universe has ears, it listens.
Mhm.
And the people that you will come into contact with, it's like, oh, Kim, what are you about? And it's like, if you say, well, I don't know, I dabble in this and I do this and that, and
Mhm.
it can just kind of water down, a version of yourself, when what you're really wanting to say is, well, I am a a technical teacher of this and this and this and this. It's like where you get to it, right?
Mhm.
And where it creates opportunity, and every opportunity that comes your way, you say what to.
Yes. I
What do you,
Say
actually,
what to? What do you
what do
say
you
to them?
say?
this is what I'm telling you.
No, like, keep it simple. What do you say to an opportunity that comes your way to be who it is that you are putting out there?
Oh, I'm gonna say yes.
Yes,
Yes.
right? We keep it simple
Yes.
so that
We do kiss. Keep it simple.
keep it simple.
Yes.
Yes.
Or as my good friend Cheryl with her wedding business, it's keep it simple, sweetheart.
There you go. See, now that works with the wedding,
Yes.
because it's all about the kiss, that
Yes.
magical kiss at the end of the ceremony.
Yes.
Yes.
But what were you going to say?
Well, I was gonna say like these. I really love these cards because, like, especially with the fire, because I do have this burning desire, and what I truly eventually would love to do is become an advocate for women with ADHD.
Mhm.
So I want to be able to, like you said, get my voice out there to say, I am here to help women with ADHD who struggle because I've been there and I know how it feels. And so I want to be that non-judgmental place for them to help them. And it is something that I feel very driven and that burning desire to fulfill. So I think this gives me the confidence to say, you've got it, just like you said, do it, put it out there and say, this is who I am and this is what I offer. Not just, well, I could be this, but I don't really know what I'm doing or blah blah blah. Just say, no, I'm ready, I'm willing to help, and the answers will come as you know as I go on with it.
Yeah, and you'll find that it's like the opportunities that come, it's like there will be question marks, as far as like, oh boy, how do I approach this? How do I, but that's when you have the motivation for it, when you know that you're wired to, be in that environment, and you have your own experiences, it's like you'll build on it. It's like being a tarot reader, it's like,
Mhm.
there have been countless times when I've gone into a reading going, I have no idea what I'm going to say, to this
Mhm.
person. It's like, and that's actually been the perfect starting point, because you don't get into places of like, oh yeah, I know exactly, I'm going to just follow this script,
Mhm.
and then, if you're too rigid, it's like you can kind of lose the essence of why you're in it in the first place.
Mhm.
It you don't want to get into a paint by numbers, or something that feels like it's factory work.
Right.
Like what you bring to it is a special ingredient to.
If you wanted to do paint by numbers, you can make the blue boy's eyes yellow or green.
I want him to have purple eyes like Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
provided they supply you with that purple paint, but maybe you can just
Right.
like use that
Well,
from another set.
Red and blue make purple.
Red
yeah.
and blue, yeah.
You got to improvise.
And that improvising is, I mean, that's not just, where you're just making stuff up, right?
Mhm.
It's like you're being in the moment. You're like, again, drawing upon your own being, um you're making it uniquely yours, that moment. And that's what we bring to these areas of where we're taking our gift and we're putting it out there in the world. So it becomes a very, special statement, of who it is that we are.
Yes. And one final question, or do you have another question, Richard, before I continue? I don't want
No,
to cut you off.
I don't really have any type of final question. I'd rather just sit here, bada bing, bada boom, it's over. Hercules is the hero. Well,
Yes, but I would like to know, and I'm sure you do kind of want to know too, what do the cards say about our podcast? As far as getting us out there to be seen, will this be the year that we gain our footing?
If you were before me, it's like you would choose a card, Richard would choose a card, and then some
Okay.
total stranger would choose a card.
Okay, so I choose a card, Kim choose a card, and then we will allow our
The
wonderful the fates divide.
Or I could call Mercy in here and he could choose the card.
Well, the cards have been chosen. I chose them.
Oh, darn.
I bypass both of you.
Oh, okay.
But the intent was set, right? As far as
Yes.
the Four of Wands shows up, which is really interesting because it shows like both of you in that circle, doing the dance there. The Four of Wands, the Eight of Wands, fascinating, because this is like a card of communication and it's like one of focusing, but it's also it has like these layers of like the digital self, how one puts their digital self out into the world, so that it's at a more expansive setting, and then, oh boy, the Page of Swords, which is like the Page of Swords, again, the messenger, right? And she's the one who's surrounded by all these butterflies, and butterflies, they're the ultimate metaphor in transformation, right? And that word, I mean, sometimes it gets overused in like spiritual in that context, but I think that it as a goal, right, with every broadcast, is to have someone come in to enter your realm, right? That special connection that you and Richard have together as not only siblings, right, but as seekers, right? Looking for deeper truths. Not every sibling relationship is like that. Where you can have that one where you're looking to highlight someone else's.
Well, I look at our sibling relationship as the fact as my sister is the one I would actually choose to be my sister as well as one of my close personal friends.
Yeah.
Agreed. I always tell everybody that my brother is not just my brother, but he's one of my best friends in this life.
And she's my favorite sibling.
Yes. He's somebody that I know I can go to, just for anything, whether it's to have a serious talk or just hang out and have fun with. I know I can always depend on him for that. So
yeah, and it's like being on your podcast, it's always a lot of fun. It's like there's beforehand we were just like really laughing because we're just goofing off, but like siblings can, right? Rather than being, damn it, this is serious spiritual talk.
No,
There's to be no laughing. No making
Neither
fun of anything.
neither one of us are that way. We're both goofy, weird people, and we are getting more into letting that side of us shine through the podcast.
I think that, I mean, that's
Mhm.
a strength, right? Because it's real, but it also allows for people to, I mean, there's so many clients that I'll see where their relationship with their siblings or other family members, it's strained. There's a lot of expectation. There's like, how come things haven't been, better?
Mhm.
Um, and it's like to just be more natural and just like, again, like you're like co-detectives, right? Like
Mhm.
uncovering these deeper
Yeah.
truths.
Yes, which is kind of I would say we're both sides of the same coin. I mean, she is the true believer, but she's learning her gift. I know my gift, but at the same time, my BS detector is always on.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
No. Yeah,
No.
yeah, of course. I mean, and that's what makes it like an interesting. If you're just like the same, it would be a little less fun, right? I mean, it's
Right.
like
Mhm.
you can have like a similar sense of humor, or I have that with my siblings. We all
Mhm.
have kind of this strange sense of humor, but we are all very different in our in our politics and in our spiritual life
Right.
and all that. But to be able to bond as siblings, as family, right? It sets a great example for others in the world, like what we're talking about, where
Right.
people coming together and not just being so like afraid of one another. um
Mhm.
and again, with the wands, there's the four of wands, the eight of wands,
Wow.
right? It's like the
Mhm.
wands are reflective of the spirit of that which connects others, right? And
Mhm.
so finding ways to to broadcast further, to find um ways to expand your airwaves, right? To expand your reach. I see that as um uh, like adding your stations, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's like you can be on YouTube, you can be on some others, but look for maybe a couple other venues like iHeart, or
Mhm.
some of these other ones that can push you out even further, and to be a voice for transformation. It's like you can't make someone change,
Right.
you know, but you can, bring quality programming together. The how it is that you speak of things, your insights, where you don't show any fear, right? As far as like how it is that you'll approach something, and it might be a funny take on it. It might be something that feels like it's a deeper take on it, and where someone can see themselves in it, and then that can plant those seeds of change, of transformation for them. I think that's what you can um you can again kind of focus on that, for some upcoming episodes where again you're planting seeds, and that's all you have to do. It's like you're not changing hearts and minds, that's done on that individual level, but you're creating the space, therefore, for someone to really like go deep within themselves, and to see themselves in their own uh you know personal transformational journey. So um I mean, there's, you know, before the big like payoff or the, you know, comes about, it looks like you know, there is expansion, and there's like that, again, that recognition that what the two of you bring is something very special, very unique, and to uh you know, make that, or I guess keep that the heart of your programming.
Interesting. Thoughts, bro? You seem very pensive over there. Deep in
I'm
thought.
just deep in thought. Yes, I'm I am devouring every word he says and as what he says, and it is a very it's almost like a Jack Handy moment. It's a deep thought.
I'm good enough. I'm smart enough.
Smart enough.
And doggone it, people love
Who
me.
like me. That's a Stewart Saves the World, but
Oh, yeah, that was Stewart.
That
Oh,
was
yeah,
no, Jack Handy. That was one of my favorite books. Like of, it was like 90 something.
right. My
And
favorite one was when he says, "I bet my friend $1 million he would eat this bug." 23 years later, I real as I'm making another payment to him, I know I've got 20 more years to pay him off.
my favorite one was where he said that he took his kids to Disneyland, or he said he was taking his kids to Disneyland, and they drove by a burnt out warehouse, and it was like, oh my God, Disneyland burnt down. But by the time that, you know, after the kids were done crying and stuff like that, it was too late to take them to the real Disneyland.
Oh. That reminds me of
Yeah.
one time we were I was with my dad and we were traveling from Denver, Colorado to where we live in Texas.
Yeah.
And my dad and I always had this joke where if we saw a sign that said, like, you know, a different city or whatever, oh, well, we took a wrong turn. So we're driving along and we pass a sign that says, you know, New York to the left, which was a small town in this, I can't remember if it was here in Texas or one of the other
New York?
states. New York. It was a sign that said New York left. And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, oh, Dad, we took a wrong turn. He's like, oh, well, what are we going to do now? And we just laugh. And then a little bit later, I look in the back seat and my little brother is just in tears, crying. And me and my dad are like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he's like, we're lost. We don't know where we're going. And me and my dad are just cracking up. And we're like, no, we were just kidding. We know where we're going. Are you sure? It's like, yes. And oh, he was just in tears, so afraid that we didn't know where we were.
You should have dropped him off in New York and said, okay, we're here to see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
see it.
No, we were already about 50, 60 miles past the sign when we noticed that he was just in tears in the back seat.
And he's still in tears in the back seat.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
with that, we do want to wish everybody a very happy, prosperous new year. And again, Jason, where can you got any virtual places you're going to be this holiday within the next couple of months?
Yes. Anything you would like to plug?
Well, I have my Monday and Thursday online classes, and those are advertised on Facebook, on my Facebook page, which is Jason D. McKean, and my Instagram, which is Jason Tarot Wizard. And with those, it's like those are every Monday and Thursday. As far as other online ones, I mean, I teach a course in Japan through a Japanese translator. Watashi wa nihongo ga skoshi hanashimasu, which is all that I know in Japanese, which means I know a little bit of Japanese, and that's it. I just know that.
Arigato. Hi.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Ohio.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。
Wow.
Are you impressed by your brother right
I
now, Kim?
am. I
He just
am.
counted to 10,
I knew he could count to 5, but I didn't know he could go all the way to 10.
right?
That's pretty
It's like,
impressive.
Yes.
I'm impressed. Yeah, so I've got that, but it's like the live classes, that I'm focusing on, and working with some other practitioners too, like making like these joint energetic types of environments for people to not just set an intention for themselves, but to like really like get into that place of motivation, and also that they're ready to take it to the street, that they're ready to not just be motivated when they're in the workshop, but they go out and they start to make the necessary changes, and the take the steps to start building, because it's a building year.
Yes.
And there's going to be a lot of good stuff that we create, but it's going to take some doing. So I wish everyone the best, and like a happy 2024.
Yes. And where can people find us, Rick?
They could find us in the hearts of good men, in the minds of the curious. No, you can actually find us on Facebook, where we've got a wonderful group going on. We do have a website, which is theskepticpsychic.com, and
We're also anywhere podcasts can be
yes, sir,
found,
found,
and on
and
YouTube.
exactly,
So make sure
and
you like and subscribe.
and enjoy your wonderful new year. And like the doobies say, you'll be taking it to the streets.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, I was going to say, like the Eagles, take it to the limit.
Yeah.
Oh boy, now you're putting me on the spot there, as far as like take it to the mountain.
There you go.
Yes,
I don't know what that band is.
Yes.
Well, you can also take it to the limit.
Oh, that's what I said.
Well, I can't like just copy your sister though.
All
I
right.
mean, maybe you can, but I can't.
Take it to the people.
Taking it to the people.
There
we
you
go. Like
Yes.
Cool in the Family Gang.
Right.
Yes.
That doesn't sound right.
Cool in
You
the
could be
gang.
taking people
Cool in the
higher.
Gang.
You could be taking people higher.
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Right, Dan.
Yes.
All righty. So as we say goodnight to everybody, again, Happy New Year. Thank you for coming up on here, Jason. We really appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you. As usual, total blast. Thank you,
Yes.
both of you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.